Hey guys, Demi here from Atlas Vibration Spirituality, and I am here with your Gemini New Moon Collective update. And it is happening today at 6 degrees at 11:02 p.m. Eastern Time, depending on where you're at in the world. We have a couple things going on astrologically. I just want you to know that Saturn has gone into Aries. We got Neptune in Aries. It happened not too long ago. And then eventually Jupiter will be going into Cancer over the summer. There is some retrograde activity with Mercury, so we do have some stuff coming up. If you guys would like me to do a video on Saturn and Aries, please feel free to put it in the comment section. I can kind of work on that and give you guys the update if you would like that, just to kind of know what you're in for. And essentially, though, we have three main focuses today on what is happening with this new moon and that you guys are feeling at an energetic level. So, first things first, we need to speak the truth and start sticking up for ourselves using our words. Number two, learning to communicate better and effectively. And this is why I talked about Saturn and Aries a little bit, if you guys wanted the video for it, because this particular sign, it can be very argumentative, and it's very passionate, it's very driven, and so I don't essentially want you guys arguing with people. And that's what I mean. It's not about yelling at somebody. It's not about bullying somebody. It's about you speaking up, saying the truth, saying what you need to say without causing this, I guess I'm going to say low vibration, low energy communication where you're going in circles and you're not getting anything. Last but not least, deciding who you want to talk to and what or who is not worth your time or who is worth your time. And you guys are feeling that, and I will admit I am too. Depending on where this is at in your chart, it just depends on what house this is happening in. So for those of you that don't know that and would like a natal chart reading, I do offer them. So feel free to go to the link in my bio to book your session and we can go over that. Essentially, though, we need to talk about Gemini energy, what this means and what its characteristics are, so we can understand what's going on. So Gemini energy, it is a positive sign or a positive polarity. It's masculine. It's an air sign. It's ruled by the planet Mercury. The constellation is the Twins. It rules the body parts of the hands, arms, and shoulders, and it is ruled by the Lovers in tarot. And I'm probably missing a card, but that's okay. Fun things and the light energy and positive energy of Gemini is they're very talkative. It is a very talkative and curious sign. If you know a Gemini, they're very lighthearted. Once again, they're positive. They're very versatile. They're very funny and humorous, social, flexible, outgoing, studious, and charismatic. They love to talk. They love to chit-chat. They love to learn. And they also love to be so I wouldn't say life of the party, but they know how to essentially have a good time, keep things fun, keep things going. Now we have the dark side and the shadow energy that comes with it. And at times, Gemini energy can be really rigid in thought and communication. Gossipy, too communicative, whether that's thinking and saying whatever's on your mind without any filter, talking just too much. They can be very, very negative at times. I personally put nasty, and I'm just going to say why, because they can get very verbally abusive with their words, and they can get in moods in that negative energy, and it kind of creates this gossipy, nasty, insatiable energy that it's obviously, I don't want to say not ideal to deal with, but it can get you down into loops and circles, and it's just very tough. Insatiable, I know I said it before, but I want to kind of reiterate with always constantly trying to find something to satisfy and kind of get that crave of this restless and unfocused energy of trying to maybe find an answer to get more information, because once again, this sign is a very studious sign. They love to learn, very informative, and essentially that has to do with this. It is what I said at the bottom was a taste of every flavor, or putting your hand in every single like pot and trying something different. So that's kind of like what Gemini shadow energy can be. And the example that I was given, because everybody in astrology, and I say this in every single Gemini video that I do, the dreaded Venus in Gemini placement, and people say that this is the sign of the cheaters, this is who, because, you know, essentially what I want to let everybody know, whether it's in regards to Venus or just Gemini energy in general, it is, if you are not holding a Gemini's interest, then this is when they tend to disassociate, ghost. And I'm not saying it's wrong, or they're just not into it. There's a lot of people who they do, like, Geminis can settle down. Geminis can be loyal and very commitment driven people. It's just, you need to be able to satisfy them with what they're interested in and keep them on your toes. This is Gemini energy. Constant learning, keeping them, giving them new information, talking to them about things that get them going, and the new ideas and the new studious things, being able to teach a Gemini something. This is what they enjoy. They love that, like, let's go continual thing and learning and growing. And something that we need to take with Gemini energy is that this is one of the first signs that shows duality, and I say this again in every video that I put out. It is very dual in nature, and it has to do with the twins. There is a story in Greek mythology that I talk about in every video. Feel free to look it up. But it's about twin brothers that would go and move between the earthly realm and the underworld. And this is why, in the dark side, that Geminis, and I'm clearing up the two-faced energy and the superficiality, this is a sign of duality, seeing that there is light and dark, and this is where it starts. Like, and I know that every sign has an opposite, it has duality to it always, because it has a light and a dark side. But essentially, Gemini starts that. So that's why they claim that they're two-faced, and this is true, like in true reality, and how it manifests into our earthly reality at a 4D level is them talking to you, having a good time, and the next thing you know, they're talking behind your back, and they're saying mean things, and they're being nasty. And this is where we have this dual nature of being animalistic, in the sense of we're animals, we have both within us. So essentially, and I'm not saying that it's right, but it exists. And this is where this first starts, because now if you go into the next air sign, it's Libra, then it's Aquarius. Libra is all about, we know, balancing of the scales, and you've heard that both, and it rules seeing both sides of the story. So just because it's bad or it's wrong, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen and that it's true. It is a part of this person's reality. So this is where it starts, okay? So I want you guys to keep that in mind of why this energy is and how it kind of comes across. And I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that, I don't want to say it's wrong, but you guys get the gist, right? So what does Gemini rule? What are you seeing new beginnings in right now? So key thing we've been talking about this whole video, as I do every time, communication. This is one-to-one communication, and this could also be the start of friendships and relationships. So talking to new people, wanting to get to know people, wanting to kind of sit down, go out, be social. Not necessarily being a part of a group, or maybe like at a deeper connection with a romance. It could be, like, I'm not saying it can't, but usually that's a Libra and Aquarius kind of energy, and this is where we have the start of our verbal communication and relationships. New beginnings with your siblings. Also, it rules short-term travel and just travel in general, so that could be any kind of short distance travel through cars, bikes, trains, planes. So you guys have been seeing, at least here in New Jersey, the transit, they're going on strike. So any kind of new beginning that is, once again, going back to what we talked about in the beginning of using your words to stick up for yourself, being more honest about who you want to talk to and who you want to be around. This could also be the beginning, and depending on how you take this, verbal or written contracts. So verbally agreeing to things, writing things down, agreeing to those kinds of things, and making that known, contract through words or writing. once again, the light and dark duality. So you're probably starting to see that even when you talk to people, they're two-faced. Like, and I hate to say it like that, but you're starting to see that people have light and dark aspects to them. They're not who they appear to be. They have, like, talking, everybody has that verbal diarrhea. They say things and then, you know, it is what it is, and there's light and dark to it. And, you know, this person may not be the nicest, but you also see they have really good aspects to them, right? Last but not least, we're going to talk about education and learning, and this is something that I love. This could also be just learning new ideas, bringing out your ideas, thinking of ideas to start something new, going back to school. And it's also interesting because look at this new moon. People are graduating. I say this every time. People graduate at this time because they are moving on to a job. They're going to get their master's or their PhD. They're starting school. You put your applications in. So those are those kinds of things that are happening with education and learning depending on what's going on in your chart. We're going to talk about the Sagittarius opposition. So that is Gemini's opposite. And so, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Sagittarius energy. My Sagittarius pride is very high. Even though I'm biased, I have a Sagittarius moon. But Sagittarius is the master. It's the teacher. So if you have an overload, or you're in the shadow energy, or you got too much Gemini energy going on, embody Sagittarius energy to bring you to balance. Seek out a teacher or a master who could show you knowledge, wisdom, has gained the experience. And always with this is, and this is my favorite axis, I call this the learning axis, the student axis, the education axis, because we learn. You can't learn without always being the student. You can't master anything if you can't learn. And this is what the center of our universe is. We revolve around Sagittarius energy. So if you're feeling really like you don't know how to ground yourself down, you keep rethinking, you don't know where to go to school for, you don't talk to somebody who knows and has been through it. If you want to go for your PhD, it's just an example, right? I wanted to, so I sat down with all of my professors in college and asked them what they did for their PhD. Did they get loans? What programs did they go to? How did you get in? Seeing that if they could teach me as well all of the things that I needed to know, so that way you can ground your energy down. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, so passion, independence, freedom, justice, values, those kinds of things that you are passionate about. So get into that if you can't get into your ideas. What are you passionate about? What drives you? What do you want to master? What do you want to learn? What can you teach people? And what is it that you need to have to satisfy your own insatiable thirst, right? So I hope that this was educative for you. I hope that we embody the Gemini energy really well. And I hope that you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to all of the soldiers and all of the people that have sacrificed their lives for our freedom. So once again, have a great weekend and namaste.